exposing how emotionally abusive narcissists will tremble in fear if you do these to them. As self-centered individuals, narcissists have no interest in anything or anybody but themselves. There is a constant need for them to be the best. They have a vantage point from which to view the world. If you don't recognize their excellence, they will make you. They will make sure of it. You can never praise someone else in front of or to the narcissist because that would put that person above them. They will probably get very angry and say that you should have complimented them instead of the other person. You'll feel bad about what you said, and they'll make you retract what you said. The following is a list of things that you can do in order to drive narcissists crazy. A word of caution, though. Those of you who are confident that you will not be harmed should see what follows. If you're dealing with a narcissist who's a pain in the neck and a poisonous person, then this advice is for you. Make sure that you have a strong sense of security and self-assurance before confronting the narcissist. These methods work best for any narcissists who are manipulative but unlikely to descend to violence because of their toxicity. For the narcissists who are on the higher end of the spectrum and consequently more dangerous and violent, I advise you not to use these methods. In fact, you shouldn't approach them at all. Please stay cautious. If you or anyone else you come into contact with are at risk of being harmed by a violent individual. Now that we're on the same page, let's get started. So, here are things that you can do to make narcissists lose their mind. Radical honesty comes first on the list. The truth is one of the few things that can truly drive a destructive narcissist insane. It's the cold, hard realities, no sugar-coating words. To put it another way, honesty to a fault. Trust me, I grew up in a world where people of this kind were commonplace. Some of them I've dated in the past, and some of them I've even worked with. When I think back, my penchant for speaking my mind and calling things like they are was the thing that irritated them the most. When it comes to a narcissist, nobody else was allowed to stand up or speak out. It was fine for them, but not for you. Then there's this interesting tidbit. 1,000 times more powerful than any falsehood ever will be is the truth, which has a vibrating frequency. To put it another way, the truth always wins. When it comes down to it, you can bank on it to happen. And the destructive narcissists find those of us who are open and honest in our work incredibly disruptive and distressing. Even when we don't speak, they can't quite put their finger on it. But something about us makes them extremely uncomfortable. A new level of clarity has been reached in our profession because of this. They are sensitive to that frequency, and they can't stay calm thinking about it. After all, it has the potential to bring to light all of their deceptions. So don't be afraid to be really open and honest with yourself. This level of honesty is foreign to narcissists since they are so used to lying and deceiving others. Narcissists have an extremely weak sense of self, so they have to manipulate others to make them feel better. They will most likely go away as soon as you stop speaking of what they want to hear and start speaking of the cold, hard truth, things that no one else has the guts or courage to say in their face all this time. Especially after they've backed themselves into a corner, there's really no place for them to stay any longer. If you still can't imagine how powerful the truth can be, then I will say this: the truth is always good enough. You should keep this in your mind forever. Secondly, show them no regard. A good dosage of indifference to a destructive narcissist will drive them insane. Narcissists believe they have the right to treat others with contempt and disgust, even though they have done nothing to merit it. When the cards are reversed, however, the situation is frequently thrown into disarray for them. They don't know what to make of it. The rule for thee, but not for me. This is a typical example of the double standard. This person is able to treat people like they're absolute twos. But when they realize that you're absolutely and utterly indifferent to their presence, or whatever it is they think they have to offer, it drives them insane. Here's where I'm going to go next. Rejection is the next step that will definitely make them sink to the bottom of the ocean. Third, exposure. Exposure is terrible for any narcissist. And the best part is that it's not difficult at all to do that. It's as simple as exposing them in front of others. You may readily expose their poisonous chatter. For example, use a simple expression such as, "It's not my business," or "It sounds like a personal issue. You might want to keep it to yourself." No more words after that. You've called out their sleazy behavior by doing that. There's nothing else to say at this point in time. You might also call them out when they're being passive hostile or expose their obvious incompetence or exaggeration. For instance, "Was that a sneer you gave me? Interesting. I'm glad to hear that." And no more words after that. Keep your cool, no matter what they say or do to you. Alternatively, keep a low profile while the narcissist continues to unveil themselves as what they truly are. It's also possible to ask them a direct question in front of others that they can't genuinely answer without risking exposure and embarrassment for them. Last but not least, let them know you're keeping an eye on them. If you want them to be restless, don't tell them anything. Just show them. How you look and how you feel are the most important things. As long as you do it right, it shows that you can see right through them. This will send shivers up their spines. When they realize that you can see through them and know what's really going on behind their fake front, when they realize that you know how weak, incompetent, and inferior they really are, it will hit them hard. And that by itself is enough to drive a narcissist crazy. Narcissists hate it when they can't control something, and they hate it even more when someone knows their card. That's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you find this video informative. Please share your experience if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist in the comments section below. For future videos, consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell icon below the video. Thank you. Exposing what the narcissist does when realizing they're not in control anymore. In the minds of narcissists, they are the best thing in the world. They are smarter, better, stronger, more capable, more attractive, and better at what they do. Sure, they act like the victim sometimes. It's a trick to draw people's attention. They try to get praise. They act humble so that you will tell them how great they really are. Always, it's about fuel. Then, they have to keep their minds busy, so they don't think about the pain, hopelessness, and depression that are inside them and knocking on the door of their souls. There is a voice in their heads that tells them they are lying and are not who they say they are. They must stay away from this voice at all costs. What if, in the end, that's true? No way. They won't listen. They go out into the world to show you and themselves how great they are. So, what happens if they're not in control over you or situations? Things are about to get ugly from now on. First, I'd like to send you an invitation to contribute to the growth of this channel by forwarding this video to any of your friends or family members. And if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell so you'll be notified when there's a new video uploaded. Let's continue. First of all, they act in a clumsy way. At first, they'll act like they don't understand what you're saying to make you think they're not so easy to trick. This person doesn't seem to understand why you're mad at them or what they did to make you think badly of them. When you try to question their sincerity and motivations, they will act like they don't know what you're talking about. They don't understand how bad the problem is or what will happen as a result of their awful actions and decisions. For them to play the victim, they'll have to do something, and that's the point. They act stupid to get away from the real problem. 2. They will say that you have hurt them in some way. In the mind of a narcissist, you've done them wrong because they no longer control how you see them or how you see the world. When you stop buying their stuff, you're telling them they don't have any power over you. No matter how bad their actions have been, you can be sure that they will always act like they are innocent and misunderstood. They often say things like, "No, that's not what I said." You can count on hearing, "No, I didn't," over and over again. "What did I do to make you so mad? And why are you acting like this?" "You don't know who I am," he said. "You're just too sensitive," or words to that effect. To make you feel bad for them, they make up stories that make you look like the bad guy. 3rd, they will influence others' opinions to go against you. When they are unable to influence how others perceive and feel about them, narcissists try to take control of that perception and feeling. The narcissist does this to you in secret. Never underestimate the narcissistic tendencies of a person, since they will do everything in their power to poison the feelings of those around them toward you. For a while, they've most certainly been working on undermining people's faith in the system. Don't be surprised the next time a youngster you've always been nice to gets cruel, or a stranger stares at you strangely for no reason. The narcissist is likely to have told them a slew of ridiculous things about you. Exposing who and what they are would badly harm their narcissistic ego, and they'll plan years of smear campaigns against you to make it appear that you're everything they are. 4. Narcissistic rage, anger and revenge. As soon as the narcissist realizes they have no power over you, they'll do anything they can to hurt you and your ideas about them. They'll go to great lengths to cause mischief. While they're around, they'll cause as much pain and anguish as they can. Most of the time, narcissists are not the ones who gracefully end a friendship or connection. Almost every time, there will be conflicts or grudges. I can say with certainty that they are doing this in an effort to place the blame for the disastrous outcomes and their dramatic consequences on you. There will be a barrage of public criticism and yelling, with the volume turned up to maximum. After all, it takes a lot of courage to see the world the way you do, to finally uncover their mask. Their activities need to be called what they are. That's a lot of guts to do. If the narcissist has an inflated sense of self, don't you know it? Moreover, you've got the audacity to set acceptable norms, limits, and boundaries. With all due respect, I'm impressed by your fortitude in fleeing such an unhealthy situation. You should pat yourself on the back. Next, your social media accounts will be a target as well. You can tell if someone lacks emotional maturity when they refuse to do anything real, sensible, loving, or kind to assist in solving the situation, no matter how evident or subtle their narcissistic traits are. Instead of trying to sit together and look for a solution, they'll go through your social media accounts to see if there's anything they can use to attack you. In order to use your information against you, they are always on the lookout for new ways to do so. The last number on the list is making up excuses. Narcissists lack the ability to empathize with others. They're ethically devoid of any sense of right and wrong. In their daily lives, they appear to have an absurd and exaggerated feeling of entitlement. As they see it, they have a right to go about their everyday routines in any way they like. Because of this, do not be duped. The fact that you were hurt by them is of little consequence to them. Even after their bad attitude, decisions and actions, they feel remorseful. False apologies will not fool you. It is only a matter of time before the changes you perceive begin to fade. You may expect them to return to their old tricks as long as you are back on their good side. This brings us to the 10th and final aim of our journey. Ultimately, the narcissist will have to go for someone else to manipulate if you don't cave into their lies and manipulations. They'll need to track down a more easily exploitable source of narcissistic supply. For the new target, this is a bummer, but great news for you. You won't have to deal with any of it. Do not give up despite the fact that it may take a long time. It will be challenging, but the effort is always worthwhile for you. That's all I have to say, but there's still a lot of work to be done. That's all there is to say about today's video. Please share your experience if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist in the comments section below. For future videos, consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell icon below the video. Thank you. When a narcissist is obsessed with you, this is how you can put them in their place. Narcissists hide who they really are. The man behind the curtain. Every day, every moment, pretending to be something they're not and working so hard to keep the mask on that they have to wear to hide who they really are, what they're ashamed of, what they pretend they're not, and what they have to hide even from themselves. Most of all, they live a life of lies, never admitting to others or themselves their weaknesses, their true fears, their true doubts, and true regrets. Narcissists only care about reaching the goal and looking good while doing it. When they want something, they need to get it no matter what. So, how can we deal with someone like them? So, without further ado, here are 10 certain methods to let a narcissist know who's in charge. However, there are a few things you should know before attempting to put down a narcissist. Be sure your body is capable of handling the storm before you attempt to confront them. They're more likely to flee with their tail between their legs if you're stronger than they are. However, if by any chance they realize your weak points, they'll go all out to bring you down. Please be aware of this. Because narcissists are predators, it's your responsibility to ensure that you don't appear appetizing to them. First, resist the need to respond, no matter how difficult it may seem, and stay non-reactive. Be completely emotionless when dealing with them. Putting yourself in harm's way is not something you want to do if you're dealing with a skilled manipulator. Don't give them anything they can use against you either. So, what are your options? A deck of cards. Keep your emotions under check as much as possible. Do not share any information about yourself with them, not even the tiniest hint of how you feel. Protect yourself and your loved ones by keeping that private. Avoid squandering your treasure by handing it over to pigs, as the Bible advises. The easiest approach to putting a narcissist in their place is to give them no power. Show them that they don't have any power over you. They can't fool or manipulate you, and their passive-aggressive conduct or contempt can't harm you either, especially if they're trying to be rude to you. When a narcissist can't do anything to you, they're put in their place. This is a clear and concise piece of writing. There is nothing you care about them. They don't have the slightest semblance of appeal, importance, or significance. Nothing about them seems to pique your interest or elicit an emotional response from you. They'll soon vanish from your life when you're not a bit least worried about them doing things that are clearly meant to annoy, disturb, or injure you. I also want to remind you that as their popularity grows, so does the number of games they play. Even a negative reaction is still counted as attention. It's preferable to no attention at all. So, once again, take no action and remain non-reactive. 2. The value of silence is immeasurable when dealing with them. There aren't many ways to put a narcissist in their place faster than to act like they're dead to you. Give them nothing, not even a single word. Your silence conveys a total lack of interest in what they have to say. Your silence and disinterest tell more than anything else that I'm not a good target or someone you can play with and get away with. Do not be deceived by their manipulation, lying, and insulting others, or their contempt for those who are treated disrespectfully and contemptuously. They'll do the same to you if you turn your back. The less time you spend with them, the less you say, the better off you will be. 3. Improve your self-esteem. It's much simpler to stand up against slander, lies, and other forms of smearing when you're confident in who you are. Let go of the pain and the guilt you've been holding on to from the past. In other words, you're not the least bit attracted to manipulative and bullies because they lack empathy. Get to it. 4. The best way to make yourself stronger is to set clear and confident boundaries. Narcissists often think they deserve more than they actually do. But you should know this. They won't get it. Even the word no can be a full sentence on its own. Saying, "I'll think about it," or "I'll get back to you," is a healthy, mature, and responsible way to deal with the narcissist's constant requests, demands, and expectations. Don't give in to the bullying of guilt, shame, or any other kind. It's important for what you say and how you say it to go together. If you don't do what you say you'll do, you lose credibility. People who are healthy will follow your rules. When setting limits, your loved ones will appreciate it if you are clear about what you want. But when it comes to narcissists, it's the other way around. If they don't stop right away, your limits should be stronger and more clear. It's up to you to do this. So, get used to standing up for your own rights. Last but not least, stay true to yourself. Stay positive, kind, and happy instead of letting their bad energy affect you. This shows the narcissist who's boss. People who are bad for you have no idea how to talk to someone who is real, honest, and loving. Nothing changes about who you are or who they are. At some point, they'll be found out, and anyone worth their salt will know what they are. All you need to do to live your best life is to focus on yourself and take the steps you need to. Let your good character, good intentions, and good life do the talking. I can tell you that if that is your main goal, it will be heard loud and clear. Keep track of it. That's all I have for today, and I hope you find this video informative. Please share your experience if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist in the comments section below. For future videos, consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell icon below the video. Thank you. What are the narcissist's true feelings about themselves? Hi everyone. The Narcissist Exposed channel is here with another episode to help you learn everything you need to know about narcissists. So let's get started. Our focus today is on narcissistic behavior and what they truly think about themselves. First thing first, I'd like to thank you for visiting and subscribing to this channel. I'd like to express my gratitude. If this is your first time here, I assure you there's no better moment than now for you to subscribe. And if you do so, don't forget to also click the bell button so you'll be alerted whenever I post new content. Thank you so much for your attention. People that are narcissistic are usually envious and self-centered, but they attempt to conceal these traits by displaying modesty and relentlessly pursuing achievement. There is nothing they can't do to accomplish their objectives. They have a tremendous drive to obtain all of their desires. They are really enthusiastic about acquiring stuff that will make them appear superior and more amazing to others. Not only are narcissists envious individuals, but they also have a strong desire to be envied. If you admire them as a person, they hope you would also hold them in high regard. For you to have more than they do is unacceptable to them, since they don't want you to be more successful than they are. If you desire to be on par with them, you will injure yourself. You probably don't need that much knowledge about narcissists. All you need to know is that when another person is more successful than they are, you'll probably spot a narcissist around that person. Because narcissists are so envious, they will not be able to shake this thought for a while. There is no such thing as satisfaction for narcissists. No matter how much wealth and power they pretend to have, they are never satisfied. How far does this discontent reach? Now that I have everything I need to begin, this is precisely what I plan to discuss today. Now, let's examine one of the narcissists' discontent, which they carry with them throughout their entire lives. Discontentment is a dissatisfaction with one's living conditions or life circumstances. Due to their preoccupation with themselves, narcissists are incapable of achieving happiness in any aspect of their lives. They have numerous problems with their personal lives and relationships. This encompasses spiritual and romantic connections. Therefore, even having lovely children and a devoted husband, narcissists are not even remotely content with these things. In their private lives, they will be disloyal to their spouses and children and abusive to everyone else in their households. The narcissist delights in discovering flaws where none exist. In order to justify their acts, they will be driven to separate themselves from their families. For their own entertainment, they would take advantage of others, propagate rumors, and create chaos. If things are going well for others, they are dissatisfied. Narcissists crave unpredictability and drama in their lives. There is no still water in their daily existence. Since narcissists don't value people, take others for granted, and constantly seek new sources of supply, they quickly become bored with all of their relationships. At some point, all narcissists will view the absence of drama as a deficiency of fuel. It is also possible that they are unhappy with their work or other aspects of their careers, because they have lost interest in both their personal relationships and their professional accomplishments. Consequently, the narcissist will quickly grow dissatisfied and resentful of their existing situation after obtaining the so-called ideal job. As soon as they join, they begin seeking for other methods to benefit further. The narcissist never enjoys a long-lasting sense of contentment. It makes no difference how many degrees they hold or how much money they earn. They are always seeking more. They would continue to feel as though they are missing out on something and should have either more money or greater privileges. As a result, narcissists are notorious for regularly switching occupations and careers. There is a possibility that they will be fired for allegedly attempting to defraud or exploit the organization. If they believe they can get away with it, they will use dishonest means to steal jobs or wages from the company. They believe that narcissists can maintain their jobs for a longer period of time as long as they can successfully abuse their influence within the company. However, even if this is the case, they will experience boredom and restlessness until they obtain what they desire. In conclusion, narcissists are never satisfied with their own achievements. Their identity and character have been fabricated to such an extent. In order to appear good to others, they conceal their flaws and tolerate everything that they are not. In addition, they mimic the personalities, clothes, and other aspects of other people's lives. The narcissist's self-portrait is wholly fictitious. Those individuals are among the most deceptive you'll ever encounter. They care nothing else but themselves. They are unsatisfied with themselves and are always seeking something superior. This causes them to despise not only the people in their area, but also everything else. They put on a false grin and have a great deal of material to conceal their discontent with others at life. Due to their unhappiness and dissatisfaction, their mood shifts from gloomy to irritable, even in public. The inability of narcissists to realize that success, financial security, and solid interpersonal relationships are not necessarily correlated with happiness. A selfish, greedy, and envious individual can't experience happiness or contentment in life. This implies that narcissists can't find satisfaction in anything or anybody, including themselves. The narcissist is dissatisfied with every aspect of their life. Without recognizing it, they will always have to deal with this particular weakness. To prevent them from blaming us for their misery and bringing their negativity into our life, we must avoid them. It is the best recommendation I can make. Today, there is nothing else to say. I hope you find this video to be helpful. Please don't hesitate to share your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel